You're busting your ass, trying to do everything right, eating clean, doing the workouts, taking the protein shakes, and your gut still feels super sensitive or inflamed or bloated, and even leading you to feel foggy overall or just drained with energy. So you might think it's the protein then in your diet, that you're just sensitive to eating the protein or too much protein, but I'm here to tell you that you've been sold the wrong story then. So let's fix that, because this goes way deeper than just TikTok advice. So picture this. One woman barely eats enough protein to keep a hamster alive, and then wonders why she's falling apart. Another dumps 80 grams of protein powder into her blender, and eats this sludge, right, and calls that health. And both of them feel like garbage at the same time. So both of them think that protein is to blame, but both are dead wrong. Okay, so this is not just about how much protein you eat. And yes, how much protein you eat is important. It's one of the easiest things you can do to boost your health if you're not already eating enough protein. You want to get 1 to 2 palm-sized amounts with every meal. Okay, but it's also about whether your gut can do anything with it. Because right now it's not. It might be a little sensitive or inflamed too much to handle the protein properly. So your body is a machine, and digestion is the ignition system. Okay, if it's busted, then it doesn't matter how clean your fuel is, you're not going to be able to break it down and absorb it so your body can actually use it. So here's how your digestion is supposed to work. Okay, first, protein or any food you eat, right? You put it in your mouth, you chew it down, it goes down your esophagus into your stomach. So it sits in the stomach where you have a bunch of stomach acid. The acid is good, it breaks down that food. Okay, then to break it down even further, the enzymes tag in. Okay, the enzymes break the food down and chop it into even smaller pieces. Okay, once that's done, it moves into your intestines where your gut lining absorbs it. So it moves through your gut, your intestines, which are like a tube the food is moving through. It moves through that wall into the blood vessels around it so that it can, the food can then travel to the rest of your body. Okay, it circulates around, it then also goes through the liver. The liver is one of your body's major detox organs. It also makes a whole lot of magic happen. It's responsible for hormones and energy and neurotransmitter production. But most people, they're running this whole process in slow motion. Okay, there's not enough acid to spark true digestion. Okay, then you got bile that's backed up like LA traffic, and these enzymes are deficient because of stress and poor food choices. And then finally, the gut lining is leaky or inflamed, or it's just wrecked overall. Okay, so even eating the cleanest food is going to backfire. It's going to ferment, it's going to feed inflammation. I know no one tells you this, right? Because we talk about this with our practice members all the time, and it's a game changer. So let's break the myth here. Let's talk about what types of protein are important, because not all protein is created equal. Okay, chicken and eggs. Let's start with these two. These are very solid. These are great. And so a couple of reasons for this, the most of which is that it is the most bioavailable protein, meaning that your body can most easily use it to build new tissues with, especially muscle and connective tissues. So we like these animal proteins are generally better for that. So any kind of meat, eggs, whey protein 2 counts for that. So that's essentially why we lean toward meat and vegetables as the center point of any diet, the focus point of any healthy diet. Okay, then we have beans. Beans are one example of a plant food that is protein rich, but it is not as bioavailable, that protein, as eggs or meat or something in the animal protein category. Okay, so this, we'll put an X here just because it's not as bioavailable. It doesn't mean it's horrible. We just don't want to prefer it. Don't prioritize it over the animal proteins. Finally, what about protein powders then? Well, like I kind of alluded to at the start, we don't want to rely on them for our only source of protein. And so they're good to use as a supplement because that's what they are. It's a supplement, which is what? A supplement is complementary to your diet, but not to replace your primary source of protein with. And so you can use, say, collagen protein. A lot of women like using collagen proteins because it's good for connective tissue like hair, skin, and nails. And yes, that's important and good, but is it going to help build muscle as much? Not so much. So if you're primary goal is to look confident or look good and feel confident about how you look and build muscle and be functionally, strong, be lean and healthy looking, a healthy looking athletic figure. And the energy that comes along with that and the fat burning power, then whey is the way you want to go, either whey protein or a beef isolate. Okay, not so much the collagen. So we're going to put a blue check mark here because it's good as a secondary source of protein. Focus on the animal proteins first. If you want to supplement with whey protein, a quality whey or a quality beef isolate protein, or if you fill in the gaps with one of these more plant-based proteins, that's fine too. And finally, about gut issues, if you're having gut issues, these two might cause you a little more angst if your gut's already throwing punches at you and it's already angry. So stick to these up here, well cooked, easy to digest, and that should help at the beginning while we're trying to help heal the gut, and then we can get back to these proteins later on. So here's where to start, is support stomach acid first and foremost. Easy way to do this at home is to take 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and put it in water, 4 to 8 ounces of water before meals. That'll usually do the trick. If you need to start slower, start with a half a tablespoon. Okay, next is healing the gut wall, the gut lining. There's a lot of supplements you can use for this. We have our favorites in the link below in the description. Check out our virtual store and look for the digestive health section. Okay, we have our favorite, most effective protocols in there that you can order directly there. Just make a free account on FullScript and you can order those and try them out. So do that and watch what happens when your body finally starts absorbing all this food that you put so much work into preparing and consuming. Okay, so if you still think it's the food, it's not so much. Okay, yes, you want to focus on the more animal-based proteins, but it's usually what's happening after you swallow digestively. So drop a comment below with your biggest question here. And subscribe because I'm building more of these videos for people who've tried everything and still feel stuck. And if you're serious about turning things around, then don't miss the next video. It could be the missing piece that no one ever bothered to show you.